Stinging nettles. Yep, they sting. But when they're cooked, they taste mild, almost like spinach. Nettles have been a prized food for thousands of years in North America and Europe. They can be found on every continent except Antarctica, obviously, but especially throughout the US and Canada. Nettles grow really well in the shade, in well-watered but well-draining soil, so look for them on high ground near streams and rivers or beneath a really shady tree. Nettles are pretty easy to identify because they sting you. You can't see, but the leaves are covered in tiny hollow hairs that contain formic acid, and when the hairs touch you, they break off and inject you with the acid. It won't kill you, but it can be pretty uncomfortable. As far as a wild plant goes, nettles are pretty safe. The whole plant is edible, and there are thousands of uses for each part. Still, if you're pregnant, you shouldn't eat nettles. If you have a sensitive tummy and you're new to foraging, try a little bit and see how you feel. This plant has been used for thousands of years across cultures to treat a huge list of ailments. I don't know about any of that, but I do know that it works for me as a natural antihistamine. I drink it in the form of tea, which I'll show you later. So for foraging nettles, I highly recommend wearing at least one pair of heavy-duty gardening gloves. I wear a pair of latex gloves underneath because these things really sting. Sometimes the sting can last for 24 hours. It feels like pins and needles in your fingers. I also really recommend wearing long sleeves and pants, not only to protect yourself against the stinging nettle, but also to protect against ticks. In this forest, there's ticks everywhere. Last time I collected nettles, I counted 7 just in my bag. So you gotta be careful, kids. There's really no wrong way to harvest these leaves. You can use scissors or your hands or whatever way works best for you. But make sure to leave some leaves left on the stem so the plant can grow back. I really don't recommend eating these leaves raw. Your mouth's gonna burn. It doesn't feel good. So today we're gonna cook. Start with your leaves that are freshly washed. Wash them good. Then put them in a pot. Fill that pot with water. Put that on the stove. Bring that pot to a boil. Put the lid on. Save energy. While you do that, chop up some onions and some peppers. Whatever you like. I like red, orange, and yellow. Fry that up, maybe with a little bacon fat. Yum. When that's done, turn the oven on to 350 degrees. When you've brought the nettles to a boil, turn the water off, set it aside to cool for a while. But save the water because that's how you make your tea. Well, that is your tea. So you got your nettles and you put them in a paper towel and wrap that paper towel in a clean kitchen towel. And now you gotta wring all the water out from inside. This is where it's important to make sure that your nettles are room temperature. Time to chop up the dried nettles. Coarsely or finely, depending on whatever your taste is. You'll see I'm pretty skilled with that knife. Anyway, chop it up however you want. And then put the whatever that is into the bowl, crack 2 eggs in it, oh yeah, with the peppers and onions and everything, and then mix it all together until it looks like food. And then I put some cheese in. I like havarti, but whatever kind you like, you can put in. I find white cheese tends to go well with these stinging nettles. So then I am done with the cheese, so you mix that all up, whatever. Add some salt and pepper to your taste. I'll try to post a recipe in the comments, but do with this what you will. And now for the fun part, using phyllo dough. What we're basically going for here is a giant envelope that's of course sealed by copious amounts of delicious butter. But what you do is you just make a big envelope, fill it with filling, spread it out real nice so everybody gets an equal bite, right on top of the butter. And then you just, I'm not a professional here, folks, you just seal it up. And then, of course, a fresh layer of butter on top. That's right, just be generous with it. Just paint some butter right on top of everything that you just put in there. But are we done yet? No, we're not. It's time to do another layer. So we just make a whole new layer of envelope right on top of the old one. And just spread it out. Equal bite. Not a professional here, folks. Seal it up. And then, are we done yet? Oh no, it's time for the final layer of course, butter. Paint it on. Be very generous with it this time. This is what we're going to see when it comes out. Paint basically every nook and cranny, and make sure you get every last single part of it, then put it right in the oven, 350 degrees. Remember, we preheated. Good job. It comes out, wow. So much better than we were expecting, right? Wow, it's so good. Give it a try. I guarantee, I hope you won't be disappointed. As for the stinging nettle tea, I literally just take the water that I boiled the leaves in and I pour it into a jar and wait till it cools off and then I drink it. I have really bad allergies, but this tea works as well as taking a Claritin every day. Amazing! So I hope you like this episode and maybe you'll join us next week for our next plant, whatever that may be. In the meantime, happy foraging!